some shit. All you do is when we get started. Damn. We're gonna cross it.
Which one are you gonna get?
I think I'm gonna go with the tan one because it matches your house better.
Okay, then put the brown.
And I got a dish of codeine. And he's perfectly happy with me sleep. Keep it up. And I got a dish of codeine.
In Minneapolis, it is a closeout game for the Spurs. The two I need new skills so that I can move forward in a new career, and ECPI was giving me these skills. Without all.
Welcome back to NBA Cinema, guys. So we got to talk about this as Gilbert Arenas made a comment about Anthony Edwards in defense of him going down to shake the San Antonio Spurs hands with 8 minutes left, and Udonis Haslem took offense to it because he felt like Gilbert was speaking to him and a slew of others who were very critical of Ant. And I think, you know, Blake Griffin was a little critical. Dirk Nowitzki was critical of Ant in that moment, not as a basketball player, but just in that moment, and going to war with a group of men, that's not really the best look. You know, you want to wait until the game is concluded, especially with the amount of time that was on the clock during that time. But, you know, they saying in defense of him, which is what Gilbert Arenas is doing, he's saying that, look, I'm not going to want to go down there after the game, so let me go ahead and get it out the way now. So let's listen at what exactly Haslam said and what Gilbert said, and then we're going to get to Haslam's response to Gilbert on his Instagram post.
And what I will say is, as great as Ant is as a basketball player, there's still some growth in him as well. Because as a leader, I would not have walked down there and shook their hand. I would not have walked down there and shook their hand with 8 minutes left in the game. As a leader of my troops and my guys, I would not show that weakness. The game is not over. I got 8 minutes left. I still got smoke coming out of my ears, so I'm so damn mad we lose. Let me calm down for those 8 minutes since I'm not in, and then after those 8 minutes, I'll go down there and I'll congratulate them and their coaching staff. But in the middle of the game, when I got guys that have sat the bench and cheered me on, no, I'm going to sit there and cheer those guys on. I'm going to put that energy back into those guys. And then when the game's over, I'll go over there and shake their hands. So that's just the way I handle things. I'm a little bit different. I'm a little bit old school. I understand there's a different generation, but I don't think if they were in San Antonio, when he would have went down there and shook his hand with 8 minutes left. I don't think. I damn sure know when he would have went down there and shook his hand. I don't even know if that's old school. So for me, I love Ant-Man as a basketball player. I love what he's going to do as a basketball player, but as a leader, the next few steps he needs to make are little small details and things like that, because other people on the team, those guys are always watching you and they're following you whether you know it or not.
That's called sportsmanlike conduct, right? And this is why I love being on this side now. You can't pick and choose when you want to use sportsmanlike conduct. You can't use that. Don't now hate Ant-Man because he's shaking their hands. It don't matter when he knows he was getting subbed out. He knows after this game is over, I'm not going to want to go down there. My locker room is right here, and I'm you know what, I just want to get the hell out of here. So, in real time, let everybody, good game, period. If you walk off the court at the end and then shake the hand, you're going to say he was a sore loser. Now, you know that Michael Jordan and Isaiah Thomas beat, not shaking hands. You got to pick and choose when you want to be all sportsmanlike friendly. And he showed the ultimate respect. Like, I don't see nothing wrong with it.
So that post came across Udonis Haslem's timeline, and I know he felt like he was one of the people that Gilbert Arenas was talking to because he was the most vocal. I remember seeing one of the pundits saying they're ready to see what Udonis Haslem has to say about this, and so he goes on Gil's post where this video is posted on Instagram, and he says, "At no chill, Gil, man, stop it." So that means Julius can do it.
Yeah.
They all out. Why didn't they go down there? Hell, why didn't Coach Fitch go down there in the huddle and shake Fitch hands too? Are we saying anybody can do it? Because that's a problem. And if we're saying Ant can do it, then that's the problem too. Ain't nobody picking and choosing a D thing. What's the rush? You got the entire offseason ahead of you. I'm an Ant fan.
Let's go!
The game was over straight up. And some other people...
that was all me. You fucked my shit up. That was over with.
Some guy was an act, and that he was very critical of Ant in the comment section. And he said...
Let's go! I'm fucking Captain America. Let's go!
His back. Did I talk bad about him? So he can't get constructive criticism? Did you see me speak on it? Praised him for multiple things before I even touched on that, which he did. Y'all just be looking for ish. Biggest Ant fan. but I'm also a real one, and I stand on what I stand on. Simple. And a real one. So like it or not, I'm sure the young man wouldn't have a problem with it because I gave him respect off rip. Now, let me say this. You know, because I do think Udonis Haslam gave us respect off rip, but I think the way this question is going to be framed when it's presented to Anthony Edwards about shaking hands, they're going to say, one of the OGs was very critical of you. You remember how he went and Cameron, he said, F him. You know, because it's going to be the way that the journalists present the question in the moment, and then he's going to feel his pride having to say something a certain type of way when the question is presented to him, rather than the whole thing. You know, he talked about Anthony Edwards, and this is what he was saying was his next step of growth as far as maturation is one of the things, you know, and you always can grow as a leader, especially when you're not winning anything yet. And even when you are winning, you're still going to grow because you're going to learn different personnel and how to deal with them and, you know, how to kind of navigate that.
This settlement check completely changed my life, and it came from a car accident. I almost bitch. I'm honestly shaking as I record this. I never imagined something this big could come from an accident that felt so small at the time. If you've been in any kind of vehicle accident in the past 2 years, even if you think it was minor, even if you were just a passenger, you might be entitled to more than you realize. Here's my story. I was stopped at a red light when, bam, a distracted driver
just 3 points. Anthony Edwards shot 9 of 26, not good, but he still finished with 24 points. Speaking of Ant-Man, there was a strange moment with 8 minutes left in the game. During a timeout, you can see Ant head over to greet the head coach of the Spurs, Nick Johnson. He's like dapping up all the players as well, including Victor Wembanyama. And we're questioning, why is this happening right now? Well, here was Anthony Edwards on that extremely early handshake in the pleasantries exchange.
I mean, at that point, you know, you ain't going back in, so you're just trying to give them the respect they deserve. So, yeah.
Kind of brushing it up a little bit. Any issue with this first?
Hell no. Hell no. Issue for what? Why? He just highlighted. We were getting smoked. He knew he was coming out the game. And by the way, I don't believe that Anthony Edwards after the game stayed around. He walked straight back to the locker room. So he just got it out the way early. Anybody that is questioning Anthony Edwards' leadership, his heart, his mentality, because of that moment, because he just showed respect, because the better team won, and they kicked their ass, they got a problem. I don't see no issue whatsoever with what Anthony Edwards did. Because he was going to the bench.
Damn, no! Not my Iron Man, bro.
This is a guy that was out there playing like the offensive line, playing with 2 hurt knees. They had 2 knee braces on. Like, out there giving it his all. He's not all like that on the floor. That wasn't nothing but a sign of respect. The regulation, you know we don't have a chance to come back. I'm not going to wait around to get these guys up. I'm about to go sit on the bench as soon as this game over. I see the fans exiting the bench. Then I'm going to be exiting the bench. That's it.
Let me say this to you. Let me try to impart these words of hope.
Yeah.
2 things can be true. Anthony Edwards should be questioned as a leader. His greatness, his commitment. He's my favorite player. I love the brother. I love the brother. And he is a showstopper. He is a superstar in this league. You know, more often than not, he answers the call. All of those things can be true. And he could very well have been doing what he said. And I believe him, showing respect to the San Antonio Spurs who kicked their ass and elevated his level of frustration. Because as Jay pointed out, I'm going to get up this morning, I'm not going to steal his thunder, when he pointed out of Julius Randle. Because, my God, the lack of effort that Julius Randle showed defensively on several occasions
Jay, I'll leave that to you to bring up because you were all over it and the world deserves to hear again what you said on Get Up this morning. But Big Perk, there's still a time and a place for everything. And the reality is that giving love to my brother Udonis Haslam, who was on Prime, Friday night when this happened, he pointed out how that's not something you do with 8 minutes left in the game. You could have waited till the end of the game and then walked down there and did the exact same thing at that particular moment of time. That's just not the greatest look at it. It's not the end of the world. People, you're absolutely right, Big Bro. People shouldn't be overreacting and condemning Anthony Edwards and all of this other stuff. But whether it wasn't just about the respect for the San Antonio Spurs, it was also about his disgust with the results, his disgust with his teammates, his disgust with the outcome and how he show up, the way that they were supposed to on their home turf, which Jay again will get into. It could have been all of that. But when you go out there with 8 minutes left in the game and you're shaking hands, with the opposition at that particular
another small nigga, man. Damn.
Way to do that. I'm not going to go any further than that.
Damn.
It's not something you normally see. Steve Nash, Dirk Nowitzki were right on the set with him. When you said what he said. There's a way to do things, and there's a time and a place for everything. The place is obviously correct, but the timing of that, you waited till the end of the game to do that. You didn't have to do it like that. It's only out of time. That's all we might say.
I have seen the Bronco games. I was sitting on the bench. I was sitting right going to do it. And maybe I can't remember if he called the same type of thing as Anthony Edwards did. And he did dap up everybody else.
8 minutes left. 8 minutes left. 4 minutes left.
4 minutes. Well, I mean, they were getting smacked, right? I was sitting right there on the bench. Maybe nice shooter. Maybe it was a visual like him going into the bench, but I mean, to me, dapping up everybody on the court. So I have seen something similar before.
The whole thing I'm going to say, that's not similar, by the way. By the way, that's not similar to me. We dapping guys on the basketball court. It's entirely different than going down to the visiting bench. That's an entirely different look at it.
I can't argue all the way against that team. Now, I guess what I had talked about earlier, going to, I think that we're watching the evolution of Anthony Edwards as a leader. I think it's safe for us to say that as dynamic as he is, or as competitive as he is, there's still room for him to continue to grow into the player we know he can ultimately be. And, showing these clips of Julius Randle, I think the level of disgust that he felt was something that other players on their roster felt as well. I.e., Dante DiVincenzo, I agree, I know he made comments about after game, but just look at these 3 clips I'm going to show y'all. This is a closeout scenario at home, y'all.
Damn, Bruce, stop that shit.
Doesn't even pay attention to the ball. Castle just has to ride with it, y'all. In transition. And then you look at his teammate, he throws his hands up. The next play, ball again, leaves the ball again. Close-out scenario. And then the last play off this replay, the same one before, right? Dunk and one finishing out pretty. Then the last play in transition, the last one back in the scene, doesn't even go for it. That's a half-down block. Half-down into a block. That was in the play. So, we can all have our opinion on what Anthony Edwards should have done. We don't know who this dude is. I say, I heard you talk about on the national TV, reminds you a lot of MJ. We don't know how psychotically competitive this dude is. So all I'm going to say is, even though we may not have seen it before, there has to be something brewing inside of him. A guy and got a team that is playing more together than his team can. I'm not saying the price, but I think something to get into that.
Let me defer to y'all by asking y'all both this question. Let me read exactly what Udonis Haslam said, and let me get y'all comments about that. Quote, as a leader, I would not have rubbed down there and shook their hands. As a leader of my troops and my guys, I would not have shown that weakness. The game is not over. I've got 8 minutes left. I still got smoke coming out my ears. Let me calm down for those 8 minutes since I'm not in it. And then after those 8 minutes, I'll go down there and I'll congratulate them and their coaching staff. in the middle of the game, and I got guys that have sat on the bench and cheered me on, going into the game for garbage time. No, I'm not. I'm going to sit there and cheer those guys on. I'm going to put that energy back into those guys, and then when the game is over, I'll go over there and shake their hand. That's just the way I handle it. That's what you Thomas has to say. What is y'all comment about that?
That's the way that you handle it. And guess what? That was some of the ways that we had in 2008. If you didn't have on the second jersey, you wasn't messing with you. Stop kidding. You do from the old school. That's him. And I'm not saying he's wrong. What I'm saying is I didn't see nothing wrong with him.
No, give me it. I hate that nigga.
It's a good one. Because there was a good and Christian you brought up about you as well. Jay, you said you're listening to it's been a while for the last 3 weeks since I've been on this show. The one thing that I've been highlighting that say is that I'm thinking on watching what? Body language. Okay, and I was talking to Julian Brown. I said that he never got over his back since the trade deadline. Go look at his numbers. It was a drop-off. Because his name was mentioned in trade rumors when they were trying to get Giannis Antetokounmpo, he couldn't be professional enough to say that this is a business. By the way, we saw this same Julius Randle during the last part of his stint with the New York Knicks. And listen, I'm telling you, before I do anything with the draft, I don't even know off the top of my head if they even have a draft pick. I would trade Julius Randle. I don't give a damn if this was a podcast.
Got poison shit on.
I would get him out of my locker room. Because what those guys were saying, he has become a character. He has become a character. He has made it uncomfortable in that locker room for Coach Finch to even do his job. And you saw the disconnect because you just showed him in the 4K. And this is supposed to be your private. Your private, whatever the else. This is a guy. That's what I do. And trading Carl Anthony Towns. If they drafted with the number 1 pick, then I believe that they had Carl Anthony Towns right now, we will be looking at that series a lot different.
No! Damn, I couldn't. Oh, my God.
I mean, that was the time of this has been growing for a while.
God damn. Damn, I was like, what the fuck? I was right there. I just I like literally like got scared, bro. I got scared and I couldn't like figure out a combo. I was thinking too much all type of shit because I was looking at her health. I'm like, yo, her shit, I could just kill her right now.
Like, if everything's going well and you get smacked that way and your expectations are your band of brothers are together, you don't do something like that. But to me, that's the sign of y'all ain't really together. No, you've been trying to hold it together for a while.
After the lot.
And the way dudes play that thing, you're like, nah, I'm so out of this.
Well, here's
how I make changes.
Here's the deal. You're right. You're both right. Because Ant-Man in the post-game conference, when he pointed out about how a championship culture is lacking, here's the problem.
Yep.
He gave the impression that it was about the coach as well. But he didn't say that. He said all of us, and he said he put it on him first. But the point is that it was like collectively or whatever. So we all know, based on what we've seen from Julius Randle, as Big Perk pointed out since the trading deadline, he's got to go. There's no question. You got to trade him. I think that's fair, and I think it's safe to say. But the way Ant-Man sounded, it was like it wasn't just about him. It was about how he was dealt with, or how he wasn't dealt with. And Ant said, "I've had enough." Again, that's why you look at what he did with 8 minutes left, and you say that wasn't just about respect to the San Antonio Spurs. Yeah. That's about what the hell I'm dealing with down here. You know, down on this sideline, it's bad, y'all. It's bad. Y'all kicked our ass. Y'all deserve it. I applaud y'all for being a team. Damn it, I wish I had that. Yep. That's what he was saying, which is why I'm saying there's a time and a place to do it, because by doing it with 8 minutes left, we knew it wasn't just about, no, y'all kicked our ass and y'all were a better team. It wasn't just about that. It was about an elevated level of frustration that's going on in his own damn locker room and organization. And Minnesota had better fix it before Ant-Man gets really, really demonic.
That statement is quite on the pretty together lyrics me.
Say, we're not gonna do this Monday morning statement. It wasn't no statement. It wasn't a statement. Look, this team came into the postseason.
Damn, where my shit at? Where my
team in the NBA to get it done. Also, in the second April, the team won. So they was all the way in. We're talking about a team that's full of all-stars, right? Mobley, James Harden, Jared Allen when made the All-Star game before Donovan Mitchell back to went to the NBA Finals. That wasn't a statement. That was under pressure. They had to go there and handle their business the way that they did. And to be honest with you, when you look at it, I'm looking at the Twins now and I'm saying, I'm not satisfied. I'm not satisfied. When you think about where they are and where they could possibly be, and what they trade, how they traded Barry Garland to bring in James Harden, this thing should be thinking way past just making it to the conference, right? Right? I know that was our expectations or my expectations for them, but their expectations still should be trying to win the NBA championship. When you have a former defensive player begin every moment, you have a guy, Donovan Mitchell, who has made multiple or several all-NBA squads. James Harden, greatest scorer of all time. That wasn't no statement win for last night. They made a statement. That was what they were supposed to do.
Okay, that's true. But they did win by 30 on the road against the number one team. Nonetheless, they wanted to be for conference finals.
Well, with all due respect, hey, Kurt, why don't you be fair? Why don't you be fair? Why don't you be fair this morning? Why don't you be nice? You understand what I'm saying? It's Monday morning. You understand the sun is shining. This is where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? I mean, life is all right.
Yeah.
You can't have it both ways. You can't look at Donovan Mitchell and religiously bring up the fact that he hasn't made it to a conference finals. And then he goes and he plays the way that he played, not just scoring, but setting up Jared Allen and Evan Mobley the way that he's doing, playing those pristine games the way that he did yesterday. And don't give him credit for that. At least the conference finals hasn't started yet. Of course, they got to be about trying to get to the finals. You got him, you got James Harden, you got Jared Allen, you got about 44 points for shooting at about 19 rebounds. And really, Jared Allen is supposed to be one of these big boys showing that play like big boys when they need to. That was very, very important against a team that was considered physical and at least defensively like the Detroit Pistons. So I give them credit where credit was due. But I'm saying on this day, but to lose a Game 6 in Cleveland the way that they did, to have all the noise reverberating all over the place about what they haven't, what they need to do in a Game 7, particularly considering what was at stake and the fact that he hadn't made a conference final. Looking at the way James Harden played, because James Harden had another Game 7 where he did not perform well at all, but that was not the case with Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell showed up and played like he expects a star in this league to play in a Game 7. You know what I'm saying? We won't deal with Kate Cunningham with certain because obviously he's relatively young and what have you. You know he didn't have much help offensively. He had the game yesterday too. But in the end, when you look at Donovan Mitchell and the noise, particularly coming from people like yourself and many others, they say about Donovan Mitchell needing to make a conference final, needing to show up. Give credit where credit is due on this particular morning. So, what the fuck?
Oh, yo, I can't believe this shit right here.
But today,
oh my God.
The Game 7, the brother answered the call.
What call?
Bitch ass nigga.
That's a what call?
He's a bitch.
Showed up in the Game 7 and closed the deal and got this conference.
That was my favorite team. Bitch ass nigga. You fuck some bitch. That's why. That was my favorite team.
And you're using the word again. Using that word again. I got the word.
I like the word. This is my vocabulary.
That's some bullshit. Alright, I got something for your bitch ass. I got something for you. I got something for you.
a sudden get knocked out, what was it, in the second round by the Indiana Pacers? Did they not have expectations last year to make it to the conference finals? So we're not about to sit up here and lower the bar and lower the standard and sit up here and give, some Justin Jackson and cartwheels and splits because they made it to the conference finals. We're talking about, hey, it's about winning championships. What's about winning championships? You think Derrick Jones was paying all that money in the rookie tax? Hey, you think Derrick Jones was paying all that money in the rookie tax just to get to the conference finals?
And say, no. Look, okay. I'm gonna have to look. I'll give it to you in a second. Giving credit is different than it being a statement. I look at it two different
it came out.
A lot of credit, especially the way it came out against early. A statement is something they can do against the New York Knicks. That to me is a statement. And what they get. We all sat up here and talked about Detroit looking tired, knowing that they got to get Cade Cunningham some help. And it showed itself. The last two games, it showed itself. I mean, Cade exploded. Game 6, Game 7, they look tired, they look beat up. So I'm giving Donovan Mitchell credit for what he did.
Damn, bro.
He did his thing. I don't even make this case to you. I don't even think Donovan Mitchell, if you look at his demeanor and how he was post-game, I think Donovan Mitchell expects it to be there. Because he knows, everybody's like, oh yeah, he did things like, yeah, it's fine, but it's 12 hours. He look at all the stuff he says in the post-game. Jimmy Atkinson's like, yeah, we got to give you all the credit, Donovan. I know you don't like it. Get a chance to go back home. He said, yeah, this is cool. 12 hours from now, we got to get a plane. He knows what's next. So credit is one thing, but statement feels way bigger and colossal. They have opportunities to have a statement against the New York Knicks.
Well, I didn't know that statement was confined to just one category. You know what? Look, move a game 6 in Cleveland, looking to believe it as they have. A lot of us have written them off. We said, damn, you're going back to Detroit for game 7. Y'all don't believe this. Here you are again going home.
I ain't got no going on.
Yet another season where you will not have gone to the conference finals. You didn't go out there and you bust their ass the way that you did. Excuse me, I kind of think that's a statement. Now, that doesn't mean there aren't bigger statements to make down the line. I'm just simply making a point that if you made all of that noise about Donovan Mitchell coming into the game 7, particularly how flat they looked in 6, then we got to give credit where credit is due because James Harden didn't show up and
get your ass out the air, bitch.
Again for game 7. We didn't see that from him. Thank God you had Donovan Mitchell. And Donovan Mitchell started off. Started off.
God dang.
Get to the rack. You always was supposed to do setting stuff off those big boys and everybody else. I'm saying looking at him, being as composed as he was. Handling his business in that game 7 the way that he did. If we don't make noise about going into game 7, then we got to give him credit where credit is due for answering the call. And I get what you say, Jay. I understand that. So I'm good with